What's up, guys? I just want to put this video out. I'm starting to do more professional, I guess, labor. Obviously, anytime I work on someone's bike, I do it per the manual. The guys all probably know that. But what I mean by this is I'm doing like work order stuff, where I'll put like the bike's initial diagnostic, like what I got from it, what they need, stuff like that. Anyways, this one, the customer, nothing wrong really on his part. It's just a preference, I think. Usually for me is I prefer to use only OEM parts. The guy's probably gonna laugh at this shit, but here I used 2 bolts already, as in they'd snapped before I even got to the proper torque spec. These are bolts off of, I think, Amazon or eBay or something. The customer had given me the pack that came with all the bolts for the replacement components, because when he dropped the bike off, the bike was missing the bolts to the clutch cover. So here we got a clutch cover kit where it came with all the bolts that go on it, and before I could even get to the desired spec on it, first one to snap was this top one here. So I already pulled the clutch cover off, extracted the thread on that one, and then round 2 over here started going through them. I first started out with the ratchet, just doing like cranked a little bit tight, not crank it, but like just like spin fast, and then and then I go to the torque wrench after that, and then go ratchet, go, and then it would snap. I'm like, man, what the fuck? So it took all this off already, had to put new gasket sealant, and then there's the second time around, this one had snapped. So now I got 2 snap bolts from a kit online, and it won't even let me torque it down to spec, and it's only 9 foot-pounds. It's not even a lot. The cool feature on these bolts is this isn't really a thing for groms because you don't really need it, but like sport bikes and bikes that have high RPMs, the engine vibrations will loosen the bolt if it doesn't have any kind of thread lock on it. Or another thing you could do for these type of things, this is like usually industrial type bolts, they have holes in them, so you could use lock wire to go through the bolt, and then you'll tighten the bolts to each other with the lock wire. So it's a pretty cool feature. Not really for a grom, they don't really rev too high. But if you were to have similar type bolts that were of like good grading, then this would be a good little addition to your bike. But I just wanted to cover this, and that's kind of why I prefer OEM bolts over, OEM everything if I can. If I could restore a bike to manufacturer spec in every single way, that'd be preferred. But here's what we got to work with. All right, so I got it mostly extracted.
Please leave your message for 661.
All right, so what I've been doing is using a flathead and kind of trying to find a grab point for it to catch onto, like that. All right, not to make this video any longer, this bike does actually get the care too. The F4, I got the most of the care. Took 9 days to do top to bottom, rebuild, get it ready, get it running, all the things, put new chain, redid the brakes, the fluids, oil, coolant. I think she got like the whole everything actually, to be honest, in addition to painting it and all that. But the Grom was the back burner bike, because I figured, okay, just fix the clutch real quick, put it back together, get it running, and it shouldn't take too long. This clutch bullshit has taken me like a little bit longer than I obviously intended. But I actually wanted to say I didn't order a clutch cover gasket on this side for the fact that I was trying to do a quick turnaround for both these bikes, and I didn't think I'd have 9 days. I think I was going to try and do it as fast as possible, but I didn't think I'd be able to have a gasket in the mail in time. But these came in the mail from Amazon, so maybe I could have had a gasket. But for future reference, gasket sealant isn't all that bad to use. I just would prefer a gasket. And if you were wondering how come there is Amazon bolts in here, or just not like OEM manufacturer bolts or any of that, the bolts themselves are kind of expensive to get in a kit. Like if you go to the dealership or you go to like Hawaii Rides or something like that, you can get a Yamaha or a Honda or Kawasaki bolt kit. I'll show you what they look like. It's these little track packs right here. They have pretty much any bolt size you would need just for quick replacing or putting together, and they're kind of expensive. So if you go through Partzilla, or I think Partzilla or motorsport.com or something like that, they'll sell OEM bolts individually, and you could just up your quantity for how many you need. It's not super expensive either. So like the amount he spent on this would probably get you all the bolts for this side. Now this kit covers both sides of the engine, and the OEMs cost a little bit more per bolt, obviously for a good reason, but they would just cover this side, and that's pretty much all you would need. So, woo, let's go. All right, Hammer's gonna be next. And JB Weld. Oh my God. You guys see what we're dealing with today. I wipe a bit there, bro. So this shit, the threads were messed up from a bent frame. So any kind of nut would not go in, or bolt wouldn't go in to hold the rear set. So
might have to.
we drilled into it. I mean, it's dirty, but. And we got a nut same size as the bolt that's supposed to go in. So for the face of the hex, that's gonna go inside the frame like that with a hammer and some JB Weld. And then we're gonna put the bolt in before, not like tighten it all the way, but that way it's sitting in this proper orientation while it cures. And holy shit, bro. Those drill bits, when they grab, they go whoop. I almost fell on my ass, bro, just now. So we're doing the watch team backup over here. This shit's crazy. We'll start drilling first and then go. Oh yeah. Like you are a part of the tool. Holy shit. Alright. That's how it looks now. That's blurry. I don't like how blurry this is. There we go. Yeah. Oh, you hold it. You got fucking not dirty nails. Yep.
This bad boy. Hammer that motherfucker in there.
Yep.
Bam, bam, bam.
Bro, it is crazy. Just look at this.
It worked.
I know, look how fine that bitch looks.
It fucking worked.
It's just like, I'm going to put this straight on Pornhub.
Dude, that worked so much better than I thought it was gonna work. It went in pretty smooth too. I think the cuts that you made it so that it spread a lot easier too.
Dude, this is prime, yeah. Oh my gosh. That is grom porn. Bro. Alright, my bad. We're back on the grom again. So put the bike back together, took it back apart, just for the fact that the clutch was not grabbing still. Here, let me grab this. The initial request for this bike was torque the clutch plates. He had everything together. He just didn't have a torque wrench or the tool to torque the oil spinner or the clutch basket. So all I really did intentionally with this bike was to torque those down, put it back together, and it still wouldn't run or drive. And then plus these wouldn't line up, obviously, as you saw before. That's all dried now, and it bolts up fine. So yep, now our current issue is finding out why the clutch basket won't let the clutch engage or disengage. So yep, I suspect that the clutch basket was not properly put on. So I'm about to take it off and check it out, see what's going on. I should have checked that before I torqued everything down. I was just under the impression, or under the assumption rather, that it was put on in the correct orientation. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. There's the clutch pressure plate, this outside piece, this outside-most piece. If I can get that thing loose in a second. That part has to be lined up with the clutch basket itself. They lock in together in a certain orientation. This is a thing with pretty much all bikes. And if you don't do it in the correct orientation, the clutch basket's not gonna let you engage or disengage the clutch. So we're gonna go over this real quick, take it apart, and check it out. See if the clutch plates are stuck, because maybe the clutch plates are stuck. The customer said the bike was sat outside for like 2 months, or not 2 months, 2 years, without it having oil in it. So clutch plates could be stuck together. We'll check that out. Get that out of the way. And then as for the pennies, I use pennies to stop the gears from turning and without actually damaging any of, let's put that on the side. Yeah, if you use pennies, if you don't have a clutch flywheel tool, or if you do have a clutch flywheel tool, just pennies are pretty quick and easy to use. Let's get these pennies out of here. Okay, and then, all right, so your next step, once you have all this part off, what you're gonna do is check out these plates. And before we take this off, before we take this plate out, the pressure plate, what we're gonna do is clean it with your shirt real quick on the face part and on one of these, this little arm that sticks out. So just to know what orientation it was in. I'm gonna show you, it looks like it's not in place. So we're gonna compare this to like 1 or 2 over to see if it sits flush, because right now it's not flush. But yeah, we're gonna take it out, take this out, and we're gonna check out the pressure plate, or not the pressure plate, the clutch plates and the discs, the steel discs. So you take one at a time. This doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of browning, it looks like, on the steel part. Probably just from sitting outside for a little while. Let's see if it rubs off. Not really. All right, well, his clutch is brand new, so it should absorb all that extra, I guess, rust slash staining. All right, line up the teeth. All right, this is 1 over. Let's see if it sits. It's a little better, yeah, it doesn't stick out so much. Still has some space. Let's try one more. Yeah, that one sits pretty flush. Let's try one more though, just to see if it goes any lower. It's pretty flush right there. It looks like all the plates are gripping. When you look around, there should be no gaps in between the steels and the plates and the pressure plate on the end. Should be no openings. Well, I ended up rotating it 1, 2, 3, 4 over. So this is good to go back on, and we're gonna torque everything down back on the motor. This motor still has oil in it, hence why it's on its side right now, and I didn't want to drain it back out. So we're gonna put this on and give a little heads up or check in once it's running and driving fine. All right, now that we got the motor together, we're gonna give it a test, make sure the clutch works. Either side rear sets are not bolted up. I'm just gonna put it in gear, make sure it engages and disengages, and fix that kickstand switch. The kickstand switch wasn't working, so I had to tie them together just now. And then we're gonna give that a test, see how she goes. All right, clutch is working as it should. We're gonna fix the kickstand switch real quick and then call it good for this bike. Put the rear sets back on right, and then she's good. All right, if you're still here, thanks for watching. And it's kind of a change of pace. I mean, I don't really want to do long videos, but I'm gonna start working on my YouTube videos more because I have a lot of footage of just random shit like this. So I'm trying to clear up my memory and all. But yeah, you guys stay safe. Thanks for watching. Groms kind of suck. You know, like every time I work on one, it's always a shit show. Also, if you didn't see, I got featured on Saturday's video, so check it out if you haven't seen it already.